Hey everyone, it's Claire here today with a new process video for CAS-ual Fridays stamps. Today I'm going to be making a set of 3 ATC sized shaker tags and I'm going to show you that step-by-step process. I'm going to be using quite a lot of our different stamp sets, including some of the new stamps and dies from the new release, along with some of our older range, so I will link to those below just in case you don't catch all of the different names. I'm going to start the process by stamping and embossing some of the images that I want to die cut and add to the front of my shaker cards. So I'm using a general embossing ink here along with a gold glitter embossing powder. I'm going to stamp those on some white card and then use my heat tool to emboss them. You'll see me adding a second layer to one of the smaller stamps, and that's just a sentiment from one of the stamp sets that I'm using today. This beautiful unicorn is from our new stamp set, Be a Unicorn, which it's just fantastic, and all of the sentiments are wonderful. And the banner with the sentiment, they're from the bushy-tailed set. Again, I'll link to those below just in case you don't catch all of the names. The coordinating dies make it really easy to cut these out. They're fabulous and they've worked for me every single time with no placement issues. So if you're not a fussy cutter, I'm not a fussy cutter, then do consider getting the matching die sets as well. They just make it really, really easy. So as you can see there, I've got my unicorn and my banner. And then I'm going to create a second set of embellishments using some Rainier gold and silver foiled paper and a couple of different die sets. The one on the left there is the heartboard die, and I absolutely adore this particular die. I just think it's fantastic. And I'm also using one of the small dies from the Funfetti set. I've chosen to use the heart-shaped die from the Funfetti set here, just so that I can create almost some sequin-like embellishments. These are tiny, but they're also perfect. So as you can see, I've now got a couple of different sizes of very, very small hearts, and I'm going to use those like sequins in one of my ATCs. The other set of hearts from the heartboard die set, well, I do have a few different sizes there. I'm probably going to go for one of the medium sizes for the front of the ATC, but it will depend on how that works with some of the other elements. And obviously I can keep the rest of those hearts to use on a different project. What I'm going to do next is create the base of my ATCs using some basic vellum. I've just got one sheet of vellum there, which I've folded in half, and then I'm going to create the pockets for my ATCs. These need to be 7 inches by 2.5 inches and then folded in the middle to create the ATC sized cards and pockets. To accompany the unicorn die, I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the Be a Unicorn set on the front of a vellum pocket. This one is Unleash Your Sparkle, and I think it's absolutely perfect for a shaker card. I've added that to the front of the vellum pocket just using some embossing ink, and again that gold glitter embossing powder which has such a wonderful sparkle. The next pocket features one of the sentiments from our smaller stamp set, Celebrate, and I think it's perfect for this particular size of canvas. It fits really nice and neatly within the space and looks fantastic in this gold embossing powder. And then finally, the third pocket, I'm not going to do any stamping directly onto it, but this will feature a couple of the dies that I created a little earlier in the video. To complete the pockets, all we need to do now is seal them up with the sequins or the small heart dies inside each pocket. I'm using the smaller heart dies inside the Happy Birthday pocket, And then I'm just using a mix of gold and white, shiny white sequins in the other two pockets in the set. To seal each pocket, I'm using one of my favourite tape runners from Crafters Companions, just around the edges, and then carefully folding one side of the pocket onto the other. Just give them a nice firm press around the edge to make sure that they're properly sealed and that there's no sequins in that little section of glue, because I think that tends to make them pop open eventually. If you've got a sewing machine, you could also use that just to stitch around the edges, add some extra texture and make sure that your pockets are nice and secure. For the last two pockets, I am adding our die cuts to the front along with the sentiments, and that's it. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and that you'll come back and join us on the CAS-ual Fridays blogspot for more tutorials in future. Thanks, bye bye.